Welcome back to America Right Now. It's a case that has captivated the attention of the nation concerning perhaps the hottest of all hot-button political and moral issues in this country. This week, the Supreme Court heard oral arguments on Dobbs v. Jackson's women's health, commonly referred to as the Mississippi abortion case. For his perspective on a fascinating exchange between the justices and the lawyers in this pivotal case, we bring in Alan Dershowitz, our legal legend and the host of the podcast The Dersh Show. He's also the author of The Case for Colorblind Equality in an Age of Identity Politics. Welcome to you, Professor.
Thank you.
Your initial reactions to the oral argument that you heard this week?
Well, the key question is going to be whether Chief Justice Roberts can persuade either Justices Barrett or Kavanaugh to join him in upholding Roe versus Wade while also upholding the Mississippi statute that changes the timing from viability 23 weeks to 15 weeks. So if he can get one of them to join him, we will not see Roe versus Wade overruled, at least not yet. But if he can't get either of them to join him, then he will probably join the three dissenters in upholding Roe versus Wade, but there'll be 5 justices to overrule it. And that would cause a cataclysmic political event in America. Congress would try to pass a statute first, making abortion a federal right. It would become a major issue in the 2022 midterms and then in the 2024 presidential.
Mississippi's argument, I thought, was fascinating. They said, look, you shouldn't have been in the game to begin with. Just get out of it. But it did seem that they were trying to, some of the justices were trying to figure out how do you kind of have a middle ground here? How do you make incremental, maybe some incremental changes? But I was particularly struck by Sotomayor's outright sort of dismissal of the scientific arguments that were made. She dismissed the state's rationale for being sort of merely a religious position. She talked about the stench of the impact of a ruling and its impact on the institution. To you, did that smack of a little desperation, you know, with her kind of being in the minority for maybe the first time in a long time?
Well, she's been in the minority for a while, and she is desperate. She believes that women will be put at risk of their lives if they can't have abortions, particularly poor women. She feels very passionately about this, and she, really among all the justices, is one that constantly allows her passions to be shown. She should be commended for that. Others have the passion, but they hide it under legalese. She lays it right out there. She thinks it would be a disaster for women, a disaster for women of color, a disaster for poor women if we were to go back to back alley abortions. And so I commend her for stating her views so clearly, but she is in the minority. There are only 3 justices, I think, today who would uphold Roe versus Wade completely. That is the standard of viability. I don't think we're going to see. I think the choice is between either overruling Roe versus Wade or the middle ground position, upholding Mississippi but not overruling. I think that is right now in process. I think that Roberts is now working hard on these 2 justices to try to persuade them that the court's integrity depends on not overruling, even if it's a wrong precedent. Many of them think it is a precedent that's been on the books for 50 years. Yeah,
that's and there's also 60 million abortions have been performed in this country, and many people in this country do believe that those are human lives. Alan Dershowitz, thank you so much for your insight, sir. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.